From east to west, Turks built up kurgans on the route. Kurgans would have proved belonging on these lands to Turks, and the spirit of the warlord buried in this kurgan would have ruled these grounds. Hundreds of kurgans in Khojaly kurgan steppes notify these lands being moral residence center of Turkish population, not ordinary place of Turk dwelling. Moral residence center of Turks yesterday, tomorrow, and all times. Armenians, they are digging. These are shots from views of diverse excavations conducted by Armenians near Khojaly. As a result of excavations looked like treasure search, kurgans are looted in Khojaly. Every person in the occupied regions having unemployment problem engaged in destroying symbols of Khojaly-Gadabey culture. Spirits of Turkish warlords slept in Khojaly kurgan field are stirred up by grave robbers who plundered kurgans. Culture of Khojaly, sacred lands of Turks for 1,000 years and one of basic dies of Turkish chain of fortune are annihilated. There is a dwelling place called Khojaly in one of graceful nooks of Azerbaijan and upland part of Karabakh. Small Khojaly River flows from west 2 kilometers south of Askaran region, right side of Gargar River. A very large river lies along the stem of Gargar and Khojaly rivers. This plain extends for a little far from Khojaly Chai Valley towards west. This is that famous Khojaly kurgan steppe, named by archaeologists. Khojaly kurgan steppe rich with kurgans and historical graves. Khojaly attracts attention of world erudites since last century for the type of its monuments, peculiar characteristics and richness of artifacts. German archaeologist Emil Ressler, Russian Orientalist Khanikov, German Orientalist Friedrich Bayern, French Orientalist Georges Berge, and others made acquaintance of these monuments and tried to decorate separate museums by taking the items uncovered to their countries. The expedition headed by me conducted exploration work in Khojaly in 1984 within 3 months to obtain the most spacious information about Khojaly monuments. We examined coordinates of ancient monuments and defined the level of their preservation. Mainly complex of Khojaly monuments of 13th–12th century before Christ consisted of dwelling places, stone gravers, various types of kurgans, cyclop edifices, cromlech and menhirs. There is a large field looking like a labyrinth. This labyrinth is a historical non-analogous keepsake in the Caucasus and covers a large area. It's a labyrinth because firstly a fence is built up in the large territory. 40-meter length corridor leads to the entrance of this fence. There are shelter spaces inside it. 2-meter high left in several sites. It might be for different purposes: to practice religious ceremonies, to shelter population and catch enemies. This corridor serves in fact as a sack. While entering, one closes the door from behind and to break them became easier. There were she stones next to that, encountered rarely in Azerbaijan. They are called menhirs, that faced mostly in England. Scientists claim that a great part of edifices had been holy places, beaten for prayer. However, the latest explorations showed that not all Cyclop edifices or the whole Lesser Caucasus Mountains built on the edges of nomad roads intended for the same purpose, but one building constructed there basically for three purposes: to maintain these roads on large trade routes, to defend the population temporarily during hostile attacks, and to immortalize holy places. Azerbaijan is one of the peculiar and the most ancient Turkish abodes among the states created by Turkish peoples, those establishing great states and empire and owning large areas beginning from the Altai and the Sion Mountains up to inwards Europe during the rule of Meta and Attila, and collecting tax tributes from this area's population. Turks being ethnic tribe who created and immortalized this in Guruçay, the Kura and the Araz rivers, Khojaly-Gadabey culture, and owners of this history culture. The most ancient script, the only cuneiform in northern Caucasus, including Azerbaijan, was mainly uncovered in Khojaly. A small chaplet was found from the Kurgan number 11, explored in Khojaly with cuneiform above. Academician Meshaninov defined that Palace of Adadnirari was written on this chaplet. Chaplet belongs to Assyrian Tsar Adadnirari, lived in 8th century before Christ. While speaking about Khojaly monuments, it should be noted that very rich materials are uncovered in these monuments. There are labor tools, weapons, decor items, ceramic ware, and so on. These monuments are important from many standpoints: to study tradition, burial rite, social economic affairs, economy life, economic cultural relations, as well as many other purposes like occurrence and development of science, of metallurgy, progress of jewelry. One thing is interesting, due to which the research of arrowheads, battle tools displayed from kurgans in that period shows the battle tools belonging to Scyths and Sacs differ distinctly from others. It differs much from another culture for these three features. First, horse equipments of Scyths differ distinctively from others. Second, arrowheads, or the ammunitions which the armed and mid are distinguishing. As it's known from history, holes were made on the arrows of Turkish people. While shooting, it used to frighten the enemy by booming sound. Simultaneously, there are features like household traditions: to make drinks from horse milk, using them to eat horse flesh, and so on, caused their distinction from other tribes.
Milli Azərbaycan Tarixi Muzeyinin arxeologiya fondunda çox maraqlı bir akt var. Bu aktda
there are many interesting acts in Department of Archaeology of National Museum of History of Azerbaijan. It's noted in the act that a part of artifacts revealed from Khojaly kurgans were sent to State Hermitage for analysis. But a part of the sent materials were lost upon being analyzed, and also during return to the Azerbaijan Research and Study Society in as the Act says. But scientists of Azerbaijan, many scientists worked in the state Hermitage and in its funds are aware that those funds consist of numerous materials uncovered from Khojaly kurgans, though most of them were revealed in 1926 and earlier hadn't been ever explored and studied, so they remained there covered with dust.
Öğrenilməyiblər. Elə orada da toz basmış şəkildə qalıblar.
Bütün Türk xalqlarına məxsus olan İskiflər,
Skifs, Sacs, all Turkish tribes, than the tribes known in the history in a written form in the area of Karabakh, Gargars, Hurits, Lulubis and other tribes, and also even outlander Turkish tribes of early before Christ existed. Kimurs, Massagetes and others are amidst them. It should be noted that there are old outlander tribes and recent tribes amongst them.
Bunların qədimdən gələni də vardı, sonraki gələnlər də vardı.
Bu ərazinin seçilməsi, insanların burada yaşaması çox maraqlıdır. Yəni niyə məhz bu ərazidə deyək ki, bu cür qəbristanlıqlara,
selection of this area and dwelling of people are very interesting. Why such graveyards and kurgan fields are encountered in these areas?
Yəni qədim
This is a place in the middle of summer pasture and winter quarter. Ancient Turkish hamlets and then medieval Turkish hamlets and afterwards 19th-20th century Turkish hamlets used these areas while going to summer pastures.
və onlar üçün bu qovuşaq
These areas assumed great importance for them. This place has possibly specific, mystic aura and scope attracting attention of people.
insanları bura cəlb edir. Niyə məhz
Creation of Christian churches not far from that place says about ecclesiastic atmosphere of this place.
eramızın
Encirclement of kurgans filled by a sepulchre field and sequence is seen clearly.
ardıcıllıq bu özünü aydın göstərir.
Armenians have been conducting excavations in Azerbaijani lands they occupied for already some years. Archaeological excavations are carried out by the staff of Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography of Armenian National Academy of Sciences. Armenians found walls of ancient acropolis, church residues, tombs and ceramic ware rests. They aimed at revealing the remnants of Tigranakert city, founded as though in 1st century before Christ. Armenian scientists claim that artifacts obtained from archaeological excavations implemented by Azerbaijani scientists at different times had lost and materials disappeared.
Bu növbəti saxtakarlıqdır. Bu erməni tarixçilərinin
Its next forgery,
doğrudan da
a blatant lie by Armenian historians. Indeed, in 18th, Azerbaijani archaeologists conducted explorations in the area of Karabakh, Khojaly near Aktiv and the Govurgala monument. The results of this exploration were published. The revealed artifacts were brought to National Museum of History of Azerbaijan. It indicated that there are Christianity elements there. These materials are presently protected in Department of Archaeology of National Museum of History of Azerbaijan. However, these are artifacts belong to Christian Albanians.
Yəni Xristian Albanlara məxsus maddi mədəniyyət nümunələridir.
One man going on a historical tourism trip to Karabakh is seen in these shots. He makes his trip through the map of historical monuments reflected Karabakh's Armenian history. Khojaly does not exist in this map.
Xojalı ən əvvəl erməniləşdirildi və Xojalıya İvanyan adında bir qəsəbə adı veriblər.
Khojaly was earlier Armenized and was renamed like Ivanyan settlement. Khojaly is not included nowadays into that maps since it's thoroughly destroyed. Generally, administrative buildings, areas, on the whole social edifices, in one word, everything had been demolished.
Bütün nə varsa hamısı məhv olunubdu.
As early in late November in 1988, me and my study supervisor, Ideal Narimanov, were sent to Khankendi village through our central committee when the whole Karabakh raged, following that the people in Baku happened to protest. It became known that an Albanian monument was erected there by Armenians upon building up, allegedly, a settlement for Armenian refugees. The Armenians arrived there from Yerevan, explored, cleansed and thus cleared Albanian temple. They still began with that. A very interesting fact appears there. Well-known Armenian archimadrid, Khachik, carries out exploration and archeological excavation in Khojaly Kurgans. I wonder, what does the archimadrid seek in Khojaly Kurgans? What does he follow? He is not an archaeologist. He is not a historian. Terror means a political aggression against people and objects intended to have impact upon moral condition of the population. This tragic history has strength, might at the power roots. We cannot yield this place. We must not yield. If Armenians afforded to replace those kurgans, gravestones in Khojaly, and the object existed there, and Armenize them, they would do it like Christian monuments, cloisters, cross-stones, cross signs. They removed them from the earth because of the mentioned reason. Violent destruction razed into the ground for some years, taking advantage from the items found there and other jewelry and adornment things laid expensive sale to other foreign countries is nothing except Armenian vandalism. Committing Khojaly genocide is associated mainly with Khojaly's history. It's done by those who is aware of that. Our atrocious neighbors knew that Khojaly-Gadabey culture, developing inviolably in that chain, combined the features of earlier cultures and put foundation for establishment of further cultures. Atrocious neighbors committed these events intentionally in order to lose the traces of this culture, break this culture, to speak more frankly, set the axe to the root of our history.